see is more like pullbacks into the zones of the 1.19.332 dollar per barrel. Okay, we'll be looking for price to go back a little pullback to 9237 per barrel before it dropped to 866 per barrel. Okay, we're looking forward to for US oil to drop even as far as the 85 to $80 per barrel. Why is this so? Due to the World Cup. Okay, you know that the US-Iran war has to do with these two countries, and
Yes, Analytics right here. Welcome back to our usual weekly market forecast. So this is a usual weekly market forecast for the week of the 15th to the 19th of June, which is also the day trading week for the month of June. So without further ado, if you're watching this video, to watch this video to the very end and also smash that subscribe button, drop some comments or some fire emoji if you like what we're doing here. So let's get started with US oil. So from last week from US oil, we can see US oil played into precision. We had price open somewhere around the zones. Okay, price open somewhere around that zone. So all what we were looking for last week was more like a break, a retest, and price projections to the downside. And we gave you guys a two-way scenario in which price could either come to this other level and drop, or price could break here, retest, and the drop, which is what we also had. You can also see the arrow up right about there. So last week was actually a great week for us. Price was also predicted into precision, which a lot of you were also thankful that they were able to make money from this trade call using our weekly market forecast analysis. Okay, so let's continue with today's of price. So let's see how price closed for the total of last week. Okay, then we can use this information to make something out for ourselves. So looking at price for last week, price on the weekly time frame, on the weekly candle, we can see price closed with that massive doji candle. So this is showing a momentum of bearishness, more bearishness on price for sellers, that there are more sellers in the market. Okay, so here on the daily time frame, nothing much. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame, guys. Okay, so here on the 4-hour time frame, we already have price giving us some projections of creating series of highs, lower low, lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a very nice lower high, which was created last week, a new lower low. Okay, so we could have price create a new lower high and a new lower low. Okay, remember, like I always tell you guys, price actually moves in a wave. Okay, so that is the wave formation of price movement. Regardless, we can see price has already broken out of this structural low, okay, which is a support being on resistance right about now. So we already have price retest here, a break, a retest, and we are looking for a bearish drop on US. Okay, so all what we need to see for the coming week is more like, let's use this more like a break, a retest, which we already have that retest. You can see that 4-hour bearish engulfing candle. So this is almost like a good trade call. Okay, so our first level target would be the $80 per barrel. Remember, last week I already called price all the way to the $80 per barrel, guys. So this is not new to us. Okay, we called price from the $90 per barrel all the way to the $80 per barrel. So we're expecting price to continue more bearish to the downside. Okay, so that's it for US oil. Do not to mark this on your phone or your trading device. Up next is gold. So for gold for last week, we had so much bearish continuations from last week. Price was somewhere around here. Price opened somewhere on this support, and thereafter we had more bearishness on price. Okay, price has been very much bearish on gold for the longest. Okay, so let's check how the weekly time frame actually closed, or what gold looks like on the weekly time frame. Okay, So here on the weekly time frame, you can see gold is on a continuous bearish trajectory. Okay, for the longest. Okay, so we could have gold give us even more sales. Right, we could have gold dump even more. So for those of you investing in gold, these are actually the best times to actually buy gold. Okay, that's if you're investing in actual gold purchase. Okay, not the online one. Apart from being a trader like ourselves. Okay, so we can see for last week price closed with this bearish candle. 2 weeks ago price closed with this bearish engulfing candle. So this shows more bearish momentum to the downside. So all what we need to do is to look for the best possible retracement area, okay, which is always my areas of interest. Okay, I already have some clean areas of interest. One to here, which is already been marked. Okay, like for those of you that follow us for the longest, you know that I always look for price rejections on the nearest two levels of our areas of interest. Okay, so what we should be expecting for next week is more like this buy to sell scenarios. Okay, so let's keep it at the daily time frame to make things cleaner and easy. Okay, so gold is currently on the 4212 ounce, okay, 4,212 ounce. So we're expecting gold to go to 4,316 ounce, which is right about this support being done resistance. Then we could have a bearish trajectory to the downside. Okay, I may have to move this to here. All right, I may have to move this to here. So we should be expecting price to come to our first level, price to pull back into the 4308 ounce, okay, 4,308 ounce. Then we can see a drop to our first level, 4,055 ounce, and all the way we should be seeing more bearishness to 3,886 ounce. Okay, if price falls from selling from here, which I believe it would most likely sell from here, okay, we should be seeing a more deeper retracement into the 4,433 ounce, which is this area, and we should be seeing a drop to 4,052 ounce. Okay, so these are our best two levels to join the trade entry for the bearish continuations. Okay, just like you can see here on gold, gold has been creating a bearish trajectory for the longest. Okay, high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. So what do you think is going to happen? Okay, we should be seeing price create a new lower high. Okay, then a bearish continuation. Okay, remember, these are simple ideologies or terminologies. I like simplifying these things to the barest minimum for even a toddler's understanding. Okay, so we are hoping for price to pull back to create a new lower high for the proper bearish continuation. So this would be the base two zones which I've already marked out on my screen, and we should be looking for price to drop from either of these areas. Okay, so that's it for gold. Up next is the DXY.
Okay, maybe a sell buy scenarios. Okay, for price to pull back into the zones of the 99 point. Okay, then a bullish continuations to the 100 point, and we can even go further.
So for the DXY, I won't be spending so much time on the DXY because it actually aligns with the same thing that we did from last week. Remember, we were looking for price was somewhere around here from last week, and I said we'll have some pullback into our 99 level, which is this previous resistance here, on support. Then we should be seeing price go to our 100% retracement level, then all the way to the upsides. Okay, so we had price do that, okay, and we had that bullishness, though I think during CPI price dropped again. Okay, during CPI price dropped again, but overall we should be seeing price continue to the upsides on the DXY. We should be seeing price continue to the upsides on the DXY from here. So we are still very much bullish on the DXY. Let's check the weekly time frame, what price looks like on the weekly time frame. All right, so here on the weekly time frame, price is still very much on the strong area of interest, okay, which is a very strong support. Price is still very much around the zones, so nothing much. Let's check the daily time frame. All right, the daily time frame looks much cleaner. Okay, the daily time frame looks much cleaner, so we can see price is giving us to buy higher highs, higher lows, a higher high. So we should be expecting price to give us a new higher low before a bullish continuation to the upside on the DXY. Our target still remains the same. Okay, from last week, our target still remains the same. So our first level target would be the 99.852 and overall $100.427 to the upside. Okay, so that's it for the DXY.
This price to give us pullbacks into the zones of the 1.337 and the bearish continuations to 1.329. And then all the way to 1.3204. okay, and price could also most likely give us a deeper pullbacks to these other zones, or which is our second entry area, which is a 1.34026. okay, before we could see price drop to our first target, which is the 1.329055, then 1.3203 to the downsides. Okay,
so for GBPUSD for last week, GBPUSD was one of the trades in which we took last week, which I think we took only 2 trades last week, and the 2 trades were actually more like loss. Okay, although price was a little bit quite funny, okay, because price took us out somewhere around here. You can see that little wick. Let me show you guys. You can see how price wicked us out before price later gave us that drop. Okay, so sometimes this also happen in the actual market. Okay, so moving forward, let's check how price actually closed for on the weekly time frame. Let's see how price actually closed on the weekly time frame. So here price is very much bullish here. Okay, we had a bullish engulfing candle, but mind you, if you look at how price closed for the past 2 weeks, a doji candle, then followed by a bearish engulfing candle. Okay, so these 2 candles are very strong candles in which we should be very careful about. So let's see the 4-hour time frame. So let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. So I'm going to extend these zones like so. Alright, I want to extend these zones like so. So right now price is reacting off the area of the 1.3407. So we should be expecting more bearishness on GBPUSD. This already looks good for a very nice sell for us. Okay, this already looks good for a nice sell. So this is like a 20 pip stop, and you can target your next level area there. Okay, as price open, you can just take this trade, and this is just like a 30 pip stop, and you target your next level, which is the 1.3312. okay, let's see how many pips that is. How many pips drop? So we are expecting about almost 50 pips. Okay, almost 50 pips drop. If all things being equal, we are expecting 120 to 150 pips drop on the coming weeks. Okay, so that's it for GBPUSD. Next is EURUSD.
Let's see for the coming weeks is pullbacks. Okay, a bullish pullback back to any of the zones of 1.158, and a bearish continuations to the 1.1507. okay, then we can go all the way to the 1.145. Alright, so these are actually the zones in which we are looking for. It's more like it's buy sell scenarios for EURUSD. okay, all what we need to do is to be patient and wait for price to come to us before we do react. Okay, you wait for price to come to you before you react. Don't just jump into trades because you feel price would move towards your direction of bias. You have to wait for your state confirmations to also play out. So that's it.
So for Euro USD for the longest, we can see Euro USD for the past few weeks. We had some range like 2 weeks ago. Okay, Euro USD has been on a bearish trajectory. Okay, we can see price creating highs, lows, higher low, and we are expecting more bearishness on Euro USD. Okay, so without taking much of your time, you can see how Euro USD played out into position. Price gave us that pullback, that phase initial pullback, and it dropped to our phase zones, which was a 1.150 to the downside, 1.150 to the downside, and we were also looking for price to, so most likely that's the same thing that we'll be seeing for next week. But let's check the weekly time frame to see where price currently is. Okay, nothing much on the weekly time frame. We had this bearish engulfing candle, nothing much. Let's check the daily time frame. Alright, the daily time frame looks much cleaner. Okay, so here on the daily time frame, we can see price has been creating series of highs, lows, highs, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. So we already have a lower high formation here, and we are expecting price to drop from that zones. Okay, so what do we have to do in this case? I'm going to extend this like so. I'm going to extend this like so. So all what we need to do is price to react off this area. Okay, price to react off this area of the 1.158. So we should be taking price all the way to 1.150. Okay, mind you, so far we have had over 150 pips drop. Okay, let's make it a little bit clearer on the 4-hour time frame. Alright, so on the 4-hour time frame, mind you, you can see this was the last trade I think we took on Thursday or Friday, in which price had to weak us out. Alright, so these are the things. This did not get to our stop loss, but due to the brokers, okay, and slippage. Alright, this did not really take our stop loss, but due to slippage reasons and the brokers, we were actually taken out of this trade because our stop loss was just on this week. But if you are looking at it here on the trading view here, it doesn't look like that stop loss was taken, but it was actually being taken out, okay, because of slippage. But this is actually a good trade. Okay, this is actually a good trade. So what we can do is to replicate the same thing. Okay, I'm still going to take the same trade when market opens. Let me squeeze the screen a little bit. Okay, we are still going to take the same trade, same stop loss, and we should be expecting a 1:2 and a 1:3. Okay, our next level target is price heading to 1.150. Okay, which is how many pips? Let's check how many pips have dropped. That would be over 80 pips plus of drop. Okay, everything being equal, we should be having an 80 pip drop on Euro USD on the coming weeks. Okay, so that's it for this week, guys. If you have watched this video to this very moment, please remember to smash that subscribe button, like, share, drop a comment on the comment section, or drop some fire emojis in the comment section. Always remember to plan your trades and trade your plan. See you guys in the inner circle. Cheers.